I want to share a tarot spread that I created based on this quote from T.S. Eliot. I had seen birth and death, but had thought they were different. There are three positions in this spread: death, birth, and growth. This was actually the spread I used for my monthly reading the year that death was my card of the year. My theme that year was also just death. I just went for it, but I called it a year of transformation. And so for each of these positions, you can ask a bunch of different styles of questions, like how do I invite death? How do I invite birth? How do I invite growth? If you read more predictively, you could say, where will I experience those three things? Or what will die or be born or grow this month? Or where will I find these things? I'll put a graphic up here with some additional questions I have used over time. I think this is a great spread for monthly readings, but also just when you're at a crossroads in life, when you've got something that you need to let go of and move on from, and to see some future positive thing you could be working toward. I'll show you an example of how I do this as a month ahead reading, but then I'll also show you an example of how you could use it for a specific situation. So I'm not doing a real reading here, and I'm going to do it fairly quickly. Please, when you do this spread, take some time with it. It can offer so much to you. So I'm going to go pretty quick. That's our death, our birth, and our growth. So I do read this one left to right, but the three cards often do kind of talk to each other. So death with Page of Pentacles, I think it might be time for me to let go of an obsession with learning. Me personally, I can get caught in cycles of feeling like I need to know more in order to make the right decision. I need to learn more. I will never be an expert. I'm only a beginner. I can never move on. My phone just randomly stopped recording in the middle of talking about Page of Pentacles, so let's start it up again. So I was just saying that I get stuck in these sort of cycles of learning, but it's also a strength of mine. I took the Strength Finder years ago, and my top one was learner. And it just makes so much sense. Why do I love tarot as much as I do? It's never-ending learning, right? Why do I like sewing as much as I do? Never-ending learning. So I have a real Page of Pentacles about me. But maybe this month, if I'm doing a monthly reading, I would think that I've got to kind of stop. If I'm going to move on in my life, if I'm going to move forward, I can't just be Page of Pentacles. I can't only sit in the learning place. So I'm going to need to figure out ways to let go of this aspect of myself, let it die a little bit so that I can experience new things. And that's where I've got birth. So these are usually quite linked. And with these two cards next to each other in this position, we've got the High Priestess. What I need to birth is trusting myself. I don't need to keep learning and learning and learning. I need to start turning inward and trust myself and trust my gut and trust that I already know what needs to happen. And of course, the High Priestess keeps learning. That's not to say that I will never be a Page of Pentacles again, but she's coming in to sort of interrupt a cycle that's not working for me, to say, you can stop with the gathering of knowledge now. You're using it as a crutch to stop yourself from having to make a choice, to stop moving forward. So now, instead of reaching outward, you're going to reach inward. And for growth, we have Seven of Pentacles. So what do I need to let grow? What's already there that I'm going to nurture? What an interesting card to get in this position, because this position is sort of a Seven of Pentacles position. I read this card as tending, as observing. You've put in some work, and now you don't have a lot of control over what's going to happen. You need to wait and watch. You can't force a plant to come to fruit, and you can't force a fruit to get ripe on your schedule. You have to wait and observe. To do a good harvest, you have to watch. So I think the story of this month would be about moving on from this gathering knowledge moving into trusting myself and knowing what to do, and then allow myself to observe and nurture and let things grow in their own time. This is not a call to control. This is not necessarily a call to ambition. This is a call to noticing. Let's do one more example. And in this one, we'll just do an example of, we'll do a relationship example. So we've gotten into a fight with a very close friend. We'll say my best friend, the person I lean on the most and have the best connection with, but we've gotten into a fight. And so we're going to use these 3 spread positions, death, birth, and growth, to help me understand the situation and to grow, to move beyond it, but to grow with it. So for death, we got the sun. What an opposite moment here. So honestly, this is a hard story, but we've got to let go of the idea that everything needs to be perfect in a relationship. We've got to let go. We've got to bury the sense that a fight is the worst thing that could happen. The sun has a shadow aspect to it, just like every card. And the sun shines a light on things that maybe you didn't want a light shown on. So maybe that's what this fight is about. And you've got to let go of the idea that the relationship has to be all fabulous and sparkles, right? Drop it. Let go of that idea. It's not healthy for you or your friend to avoid conflicts. Conflicts help us grow in our relationships. For birth, we have Page of Cups. So what do I need to kind of put in that place is a sense of newness. We are embarking on a new relationship together, and I am open. I don't want to be closed off because we had this fight. I don't want to be in a wary position. I have a chance to get to know myself and my friend in a new way, and I need to birth that. I need to bring that forth to move past what is going on right now and the place where I'm feeling stuck. And for growth, we have the Fool, which we love to see with the Page of Cups. I think it's such a good connection because there's a little fool in the Page of Cups, isn't there? They don't sit in the hurt and the pain. They don't put up giant, thick walls around themselves. There's some naivete. Yes, they can get hurt, but they also continue to approach themselves and their relationships with a bit of a fool-like attitude. And so let this grow. Let adventure grow, let change grow, let taking risks grow, and that'll help you to move on from this place you're stuck right now of being obsessed with this fight. These next steps, the birth and the growth, can help you move into a new, even more beautiful relationship with your friend. Let me know if you use this spread, or if you've got any questions about it at all, or if maybe you would change it a little bit. Do you use quotes as the basis for spreads? I'd love to know. I'll put that graphic up here again at the end if you want to grab some screenshots of this spread. Like if you liked the video, subscribe for more tarot content, and thanks for stopping by.